Good afternoon. If everybody would like to take a seat, welcome to the Cedar Creek South Zone Planning Meeting for October 6th. I'm Eric Luke, Planning Section Chief for California Team 5, and we're going to go ahead with the situation update.
All right. I like that. Okay. Good day, everybody. Don Fraguglia, Operations Section Chief Planning Ops on this role for California Team 5. We'll start up here on the zone break on the north end of our zone. The fire right about there has, in fact, spotted over the South Fork of the San Joaquin River. It's visible on IR, and we got another fixed-wing aircraft. I think we're calling it Wildland 5-1. Got to fly over that today, and so it is confirmed. It's over the river right there, and it's over the river right there. So it's not burning too actively. It's actually kind of slow moving right now, even with the hot, dry weather. And so we'll continue to assess for opportunities out there to go chase that down and put it out. As we move over here farther to the east, this fire, yesterday we had a very active day, if you remember. This fire was not as active today. Talking to the guys out in the field, it was not as active today, but it continues to move to the east and to the north. We were successful. We successfully fired around Mono Hot Springs, Mono Meadows, and at last call, we were looking at initiating some defensive firing around Vermilion Valley Resort, so that way we took the punch out of it out there. We got engaged out here at Florence Lake today with the structures and values that are at risk out there with the Wildland Fire Module. And then we also know about some structures out here at Muir Trail Ranch. And so we're working at gaining access with the Wildland Fire Module there as well to be ready to do structured defense should the need arise. Moving along, Division Papa, we fired this road last night. This is the 05 road, the Stump Springs Road, and that held all day today. No issues, no concerns there, so that's going to stop some of that fire progressing to the south. Moving into the sea, looking good in there today. Not a lot of fire growth in there. And then down into China Peak, Huntington Lake area. Good mop-up continued out there. We hit it hard today, and we hope to gain containment in that area, specifically here along this piece of line. Moving down into Shaver Lake and all across the southern end of this fire back to the zone break. It was a quiet day. Calls for service continue, and no issues or concerns to report in there, and we'll continue to mop up and patrol. And a report. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Next, we have weather.
Good afternoon, Incident Meteorologist John Pendergrast. I have a few slides here to show what occurred during the day today. The first image on the left-hand side shows the radar reflectivity from the Hanford National Weather Service office. Some of the smoke from that defensive firing, mainly from the defensive firing around Mono Lake, showing up really well on the radar, quite a distance away from the fire. And this is a cross-section of the plume from the radar, showing that some of the columns made it up to a little bit above 20,000 feet. So was really able to punch through the atmosphere this afternoon. Next slide, please. This is a hotspot image from the satellite. The dark areas that you see on the left-hand image are the indications of heat from the satellite up in space. So once again, it looks like a lot of that was that hand firing that was occurring this afternoon, especially around Mono, where there was a rather large heat signature on the satellite image that was showing up this afternoon. Next, please. So this is what's coming ahead. The low pressure area that's mostly some moisture aloft is actually the remnants of a tropical system that's going to be moving into central and southern California during the day tomorrow. Our local effects from this system are not going to be really felt at the ground, unfortunately, but mainly just actually spreading perhaps some high clouds that's streaming across the region into tomorrow. That should help keep the humidities dampened a little bit, as well as temperatures, should we get some of that residual clouds from that system as it transits across Southern California. Next, please. All right, so just taking a look at the forecast as we go forward, tomorrow kind of shows the results of some of that trend that we've been advertising, showing some lowering of temperatures and humidity as we get into the middle part of the week. Notice on the map that we don't really have any critical burning conditions indicated, only for about one or perhaps two of the elements on the matrix. So all in all, when you consider the overall fire environment as far as weather is concerned. We're going to see some lowering of the overall conditions as the ridge finally starts breaking during the course of this week. So that's what we're looking forward to. Notice as we get late in the week, we start seeing a lot more greens on the scale. There's a more energetic system that's coming in from the Pacific, and that's going to actually give us a rain chance. The first notable rain chance that we're forecasting is for Saturday. Right now we're giving a probability of precipitation of 45%. Past experience has shown that when we have these prolonged dry events, you don't really want to bite off too much on what the models are showing quite yet until you really see a strong signal. So I'm not quite ready to commit to any wetting rains or notable rains at this early point, but we're going to stay tuned. At least the good news is the improving conditions ahead as we go through the rest of the week. Thanks.
Fire behavior.
Good afternoon, Jeff Shelton, Team 5 Fire Behavior. So that steady downward swing we had all the way into the basement of humidity and temperature is now slowly climbing back out. As we climb out, we're going to be shortening the burn window. I was up there today, and when the winds came up, the air was so stagnant that the fire was shading itself out. About 2 o'clock when I left the Division Papa November break, the wind was starting to really pull through that saddle pretty good. The fire that was smoldering on the ground was open flame, and you could see that column building over the High Sierra area as I drove away. So that kind of turned on a little earlier yesterday, and so I think we're going to be shortening our burn periods as we get a little more relative humidity recovery. I mean, we're going to be up to 42 tonight, 30. Those are good numbers to start out. Those are also good numbers for firing at night, to be able to bring our pigs down, be a little more aggressive with putting fire on the ground where we want to, and be able to hold it. So we're in a good window right now for firing at night and into the morning. I'll be talking with ops about their strategies on swinging people in those windows. We're still going to have a high potential because there's going to be a lag for these humidities to really catch up with the fuels because they're so dry, to get them to a place where we break that chain between the very fine fuels and the heavy fuels. If we can get to a couple burn periods from now where we get the good recovery, those fine fuels will stop carrying the fire, and it'll just be mostly the heavy fuels log to log, which will be much easier to do, and will also probably provide better fire effects for the forest, being able to clean up that material that we don't want to do. The visibility up there was pretty poor. Aircraft were almost, it was for sure almost not a doable for point suppression strategy up there. So more of the same. We're just starting to get a little less rowdy for the next several shifts. Any questions?
Thank you. The incident objectives remain the same. Good to go on those. Thank you. Operational priorities and assignments.
Okay, good evening. John Goss, Planning Ops trainee, with the plan for the 24 operational period of October 6th through the 7th. So we'll start over with work assignments, and we've combined Mike in November, just for the simple fact that we're still waiting on leadership for Mike, and as soon as we get some divisions in here, then we'll separate those. So the work assignments in this particular division, first and foremost, is execute that defensive firing as needed to defend those values at risk. Also still working on the primary line construction on the Kaiser Pass Road, the 80 road there. There's still value in holding that road because there is a chance there. Thought maybe the map was coming up there. So anyway, putting some effort into the 80 road to prep that and to hold that road, because there is still definitely a good reason to hold that road. Even though it did come across the Kaiser Pass Road, we're still kind of assessing those options of the indirect option, or can we keep it and go direct there. So that's why the work continues to keep prepping and holding that Kaiser Pass Road there. All right, then as far as needs in Mike November, we're looking pretty good there, looking just for 2 Type 3 engines. And it's amazing today, even a lot of stuff is checking in, those water tenders, those Type 3 engines, those Type 6 engines, the stuff that we're really looking for out there in Branch 20 are checking in. So that's always good news to see those needs go down on a daily basis here. Okay, moving over to Division Papa. Still have that presence in the Huntington Lake area from Dowville out to China Peak Landing. Still also securing that hand line that goes in the Kaiser Pass Wilderness at Potter Pass Trail. And then again, we're still putting an effort into holding that Kaiser Pass Road there from that Stump Springs intersection back up towards Kaiser Summit. There were some folks in there that were looking at the indirect option. There's a trail that runs along the ridge line that'll tie you right back into that piece of hand line that we've secured there. So we're looking at a couple options in that particular area. The primary would be coming across the top of the ridge, and then the fallback would be the actual Kaiser Pass Road there. As far as needs in Papa, looking pretty good is there as well. Looking for a couple of Type 3 engines, and then back to the middle management there, task force leaders, felling bosses, and falling modules. And Division Romeo, still work assignments have not changed, still securing the edge, still mopping up in there, and with that emphasis right at that division break between Sierra and Romeo. And then looking for some Type 2 IA crews in this particular division, looking for 4 of them. Okay, still running a night shift, and that's November Papa Romeo. And again, as soon as we get some more leadership, some divisions checking in, then we'll split those NPR apart, because as the map's probably showing here pretty soon here, that's a long chunk of dirt from Vermilion Valley Resort all the way back into Huntington there. So as soon as we get some more overhead, we'll start separating those divisions. And just looking for a water tender in that particular division. Okay, moving down the hill to Branch 25 and 29. All 3 of those divisions, SU, Victor Whiskey, and X-Ray Zulu, have very similar work assignments there, still securing that fire's edge, mopping up. Those lower divisions are still pulling hose and getting all that equipment back into fire camp to get refurbished and ready for the next one. No needs whatsoever in Branch 25 and 29. Then last, we have our suppression repair group. Work assignments have not changed, still and generally in the same specific areas they have been the last 2 and 3 days, which is south of Shaver. Still working out in the Stump Springs Road, get those roads, infrastructure back. Got a lot of heavy equipment out there, as you could see, and then we've also got some more needs in that particular division, and it's the specialized equipment that we're looking for, the excavators, this processor, excavator, masticators, lots of middle management task force leaders, heavy equipment bosses, and some falling modules. Okay, any questions on work assignments or leadership for tomorrow?
Thank you, John. Air operations.
Good evening. For air operations for day today, we did have smoky conditions in the south zone. Wasn't really able to get much for any flying missions done. Up in the north zone, they had clear air, and they're still out been dropping water up there. So a lot better conditions in the north zone. So with that, tomorrow we'll continue to monitor and watch the air conditions. We'll have aerial supervision with Air Attack, the Cobra for Helco Air Attack IR, and also Helco platform out of with one of our helicopters. We did get another Type 1 helicopter in today. So hopefully waiting on with the good conditions. Waiting for the smoky conditions to clear up. We are continuing to work with Southern California Edison. They're doing some air operations and setting poles and checking their lines. So they're integrated into our air operation and in communication with us. Thanks.
Safety.
Hey, good evening. Brian Savage, Team 5 Safety. We support the plan for tomorrow. We'll have some line safeties out there working and monitoring the work and doing their thing out there like they always do. No real significant events today in the safety shop. We did have a non-incident masticator on a trailer roll over onto its side, and it happened about 30 minutes ago. It's near Drop Point 29, Division Whiskey, and it's blocking the lane of 168. And CHP is rolling out there. It's a little bit of a backup, but it's non-incident personnel involved. That's all I have.
Thank you. Communications.
Good afternoon, Ken Earl Communications. We will have our shut-eye mission going tomorrow by ground up to the top of shut-eye for that hub repeater movement. That's really all I have. Thank you.
And last, we got medical.
Evening, everybody. So we're basically just taking the units, the EMTs and paramedics that we have, and we're moving them up the map to assist with the operations. On a lighter note, the good news is with the RIMS team, still no fill, but the good news is that the North is asking if they could borrow our RIMS team. So the good vibes are coming. We just got to get that fill. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, I'm looking for plant support, and we'll start with logistics. Thank you. Finance. Thank you. And Reed, support the plan. Information. Agency rep. Thank you. And loafers. Thank you. Agency comments. Dean.
Okay, try it one more time. So as far as this incident goes, we're at a month and a day now, and it almost seems like a month and a day of Mondays or Wednesdays. Kind of lose track because they all blend together. Whether it's day shift, night shift, you can really easily fall into a trap of getting into a routine, and please don't. Every single shift, you've got to get your situational awareness up, dialed in exactly with what the briefers had to say today. Balance that with what you're actually experiencing out there firsthand and put the two and two together, blended with your personal experience, and really make that sound, risk-based decision. Done a wonderful job of that so far. We all know that this situation presents an incredible amount of opportunity for things to go the wrong way in a hurry if you really aren't on top of your game from the beginning to the very last hour of your shift. So I know this has been going on for a bit. I just ask you to really give yourself a restart with every single shift and dial in, and please be safe out there this evening.
Closing comments. Our Incident Commander, Rick Young.
So I had the opportunity to go up to China Camp this morning, caught the briefing up there. Things were going really well. The briefing came across very well. Everybody could hear it really well, and the visual was all right, and they had a follow-up briefing. Overall, morale was really high, so I really thank all the sections for doing what you can to support them and making them feel like the morale was really high. So it was good. It was a fun time up there. A little smoky, but not as much traffic as I was expecting until you got down the hill a ways where some of the utilities were going. So we just need to make sure we keep driving that home in our safety message. Over the next couple of days, we've started this transition with Strawn's team already. I know many of you have reached out to your counterparts. There was some confusion earlier today about where they're landing. They're going to the SO. They will not be in this facility. We will be cleaning this facility out, and everything will be gone by the time we leave on Friday. They'll have a small footprint at the SO, and the rest of them will be up at China Camp. So just make sure when you're talking with your counterparts that message, that everything you're talking about with them kind of meshes with that. If it doesn't, we need to have another discussion. So with that, I support the plan.
Thank you. A little announcement, to watch this live stream, you're going to have to go to the planning link at the end of the meeting here. Hit the QR code. The planning link should get you the live stream for those who are listening out there. IAP components are due at 1900 hours. 0700 here in the room. We have another ops briefing, and then followed by Command General Staff, and then another 1700 planning me here tomorrow. Have a safe night. Thank you. Bye.